Let's get into the top NFL free agents here on Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham. He is Tom Downey. This comes off the heels of Le'Veon Bell getting released by the New York Jets. I think a lot of teams are going to be interested here, Tom.
I think there should be some interest. It helps that Lev Bell is now probably going to be a vet minimum contract player. With the way that the Jets deal is structured, there is offset language, which means Bell's got about $6 million left on his deal. If he signs with a new team for $1 million, the Jets owe him $5 million. So unless he gets above 6 from a new team, not going to happen, there's no financial incentive for Bell to sign an expensive contract, which is probably in his best interest because he was bad for the Jets, Harrison.
Yeah,
bad with the Jets.
I don't think he's going to chase money here. He's got plenty of money from that Jets contract. I think he wants to look for a good fit because 3.3 yards per carry, playing behind a poor offensive line. We didn't see the normal explosiveness from him as a receiver, Tom, in New York. I think he wants to get into a winning culture with a team that can maximize his talents, even if they are slightly diminished from what they used to be. So which team, I should say, will sign Le'Veon Bell? Let us know in the comments section which team will sign him. We put a video up on the channel, so check that out for some of our top destinations here on Chat Sports. Earl Thomas next up here. We keep on waiting and nothing keeps on happening.
I mean, he was supposed to have a visit with the Houston Texans. Then, depending on which report you believe, there were COVID issues for Houston. The Texans, they were going to fire their head coach. Or, the players didn't want him. Regardless, there has been a distinct lack of interest in Earl Thomas.
The chatter's quiet.
Which is wild to me, given that the last time we saw him play, he was freelancing at times, but he was still a high-end impact free safety as far as I was concerned. I guess the locker room stuff was so bad that it got leaked. It got word to the rest of the NFL players, and they're like, we don't want him.
I said
Even the Cowboys don't want him.
I said it at the time, and I continue to say it. When the Baltimore Ravens, who are just as much in a win-now mode as any other team in the NFL, just say, get out of here, that's a major red flag, and I think it's a big reason why NFL teams have not touched Earl Thomas. I still think he plays at some point. I just don't know when that will be. Now, recently we did an Earl Thomas Destinations video. You guys can check that out here on Chat Sports. It's one of the many reasons to subscribe to the channel. Big name player becomes a free agent. We're going to make a video about it. We did it with Earl Thomas. We did it this morning with Le'Veon Bell. Go check out those videos and all of our coverage here on Chat Sports. All you got to do is subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you never ever miss a video that we publish here on Chat Sports. Antonio Brown is next up here, Tom. Now,
the diva himself.
Key detail here is he is in the middle of an 8-game suspension, but a team can sign him, and you wonder if some possible chatter could happen there soon as he's eligible to return in Week 9.
I think what you found this year specifically, where it's been a lot tougher to actually get meetings and visits with players, is that, look, man, if you got off-the-field concerns and you're on the wrong side of 30, your flexibility that teams will give to you is borderline non-existent.
Yep.
There is the threat of another suspension for Antonio Brown with more off-the-field stuff that's going on, it's still kind of wild for a player of his talent to be unsigned. He was the best receiver in the NFL, or arguably the best receiver for 4 years in a row.
Look, this guy was on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yep.
Some would argue he could potentially still get in with those numbers if he never plays another down. I'm not quite there, but I get those people's points because he, for half a decade, was either the best or a top 3 receiver in the NFL. I think AB, this has just been a wild story to just watch it unfold. So who signs first? ET for Earl Thomas, FAB, you know what to do.
We gave you the free
Antonio
FAB
Brown.
there.
Well, you know what to do. FAB. And if you type FAB, that doesn't mean you want people to sign them. We just know you like typing it. So ET or FAB. Let's go a little quicker here on some of these smaller names, Tom. Eric Reid remains unsigned.
I resign myself to the fact that teams just don't think he's as good as I do.
Yep.
I know there are whispers of he's kind of like maybe a bit of a weird dude as well, but I'm looking around the safety play in the NFL.
It's bad.
I'm looking around at the plays for the Dallas Cowboys, for example, and I go, you're telling me Steven Parker is worthy of playing time over Eric Reid? Man, get out of here.
He had 130 tackles last year, 6 pass breakups. Sure, he's not hovering center field or anything like that, but you're telling me he has no value on an NFL team. I just don't believe it. But at this point,
Wild.
I'm just going to assume he doesn't get signed because otherwise he would have gotten signed by now. This is something I don't have to assume. It's just a fact. Get a face mask. You got to wear one. Chatsports.com/stay safe. A lot of NFL stadiums are allowing fans to come into stadiums now, but you got to wear a face mask to enter. So why not rep your team in the process at chatsports.com/stay safe. We got solo packs all the way up to 4-packs, including some cool new designed ones, Tom, are available. It's all at that same link, chatsports.com/stay safe. Check the comments, check the description. We got some player masks available as well, especially for those big-name superstars like Lamar Jackson. One more time, the link is chatsports.com/stay safe. Keep it rolling here. Clay Matthews is next up on our top free agents list.
It was weird that he visited with the Denver Broncos, and then depending on kind of which side you believe, it was like, well, Matthews maybe wasn't ready to go, wanted too much from Denver. It was strange to me. The timing was weird.
I think he only wants to play if it's for a contending team.
That's fair.
That's what I took away from that.
I get that.
Denver's not contending this year. He's an aging vet. He's made plenty of money in the NFL. He wants the right fit, and that's not Denver. So will a team like Seattle call? Will a team like Arizona call who could use another pass rusher? We will have to wait and see. I think on obvious pass downs, he still at least has some value.
The concern for me was that Matthews started last season very hot.
Then slowed down.
And then after he suffered that broken jaw, he had to take some time off.
Yep.
And when he came back, he was clearly not the same guy.
Yep.
So maybe that injury led to him hitting the age wall, which was going to happen at some point. But I'd at least bring him in for a workout. The issue is workouts are tough to actually come by. They're nowhere near as easy as they were even just a few months ago.
So will Clay Matthews play in 2020? Type Y for yes, type N for no. What do you think?
I think no.
Okay.
I don't think Matthews plays this year. I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see him get a shot at somewhere, but I think no.
Doesn't play this year. Could be the end of his career. Another guy who career might just be over at this point, but we'll throw him in here. Delanie Walker. He's the biggest name tight end that's still out there, but at 36 years old, the injuries have piled up. A team like Dallas didn't even work him out after Blake Jarwin went down. I just don't think there's going to be that much interest.
I think that's the reality of a lot of these older veterans, the Clay Matthews, the Delanie Walker, the Cameron Wakes, the Des Bryants as well.
Yeah.
At a certain point, the NFL just decides, you're too old.
Yeah.
The NFL is very, very ageist.
Especially if the injuries have piled up.
It's also more expensive to sign an older guy than it is a younger guy, just with the way that the
vet minimum
minimum works out. So if there's a big time injury to a contender, maybe if Jonnu Smith gets hurt for Tennessee, they could call him because of the familiarity, but it might be over for him, unfortunately.
Could be over. Trumaine Johnson, last up here, free agent corner, probably the best corner available. He was briefly with the Panthers practice squad. He worked out for the Bills a few weeks back. Injuries the past couple of years. In 2018, when he played, he was really solid. Last year, he couldn't say help.
When Trumaine Johnson got paid by the Jets, and they changed the scheme he was in, because I don't know why teams do this. We go, and I'll just use generic examples here, not specific to Trumaine. Wow, you're a good zone corner. Let's have you play man.
Yeah. Doesn't work.
Oh, it doesn't work all of a sudden.
There's only about 10 to 12 corners in the NFL that can play in any system and be successful.
Some are better in zone. Some are better in man. Some are better in cover 4, cover 2, cover 3, whatever.
Yep.
If you saw a guy thrive in one scheme, I don't know why you would ask him to change. Now, the issue for Johnson was he was a little bit overhyped to begin with. There were some big splash plays, but he got beat a lot too, and the splash plays went away. He was a massive bust contract signing by the Jets. The Panthers were decimated at corner. They were very, very thin.
They cut him loose pretty quick.
And they cut him.
Not great.
Not a good sign.
Not a great sign. So who's the best free agent left on the open market? I definitely think it's one of those top 3 guys that we mentioned, Tom. We'll recap them in just a sec, but we'll ask you guys first. Who do you guys think is the best free agent left on the open market? I still think for just pure ability, Tom, it's Antonio Brown. I just don't think, and I, personally, if I'm running a team, I don't want to sign him, but the best pure player still out there, it is AB. Or Earl Thomas.
maybe from talent only, you make a good point about Antonio Brown.
I still think he's a top 10 talent.
Balancing in the head cases that are Earl Thomas and Antonio Brown, I'll go Lev Bell.
Yeah,
even though backs don't matter.
Best combination of all of it. Don't believe that crap where he's a big locker room problem. Very minor compared to ET and AB. We also had Eric Reid on our list. Clay Matthews, Delanie Walker, and Trumaine Johnson. These are 7 free agents still out there that might, or in some cases might, frankly not be worth signing, but those are our top 7 free agents.